Are you ready to get your fix? Are you ready? Are you ready to get your fix? Are you ready? Are you ready to get your fix? Are you ready? Are you ready to get your fix? Are you ready? Are you ready to get your fix? Are you ready? Are you ready to get your fix? Are you ready to get your fix?
With the Wicks here on this beautiful, Wednesday, December 22nd, 2021. Forgot the day for a second right there. I knew the date. I mean, obviously, because it's up in that corner over there, but I forgot it was a Wednesday. But, it is what it is. Today we got a decent amount to talk about. We had two games last night with the Rams taking on the Seahawks and the Washington football team taking on the Philadelphia Eagles in a game in which, we needed the fucking Eagles to, fly, Eagles fly, and just pound the shit out of the Washington football team, get them out of town, set them to 6-8 on the season so that the Minnesota Vikings can kind of keep that 7th seed as of right now in the wild card race, which ended up happening, so thank fucking God that actually came to fruition. But, we got those two games to dive into, and then because of yesterday, we had to dive into all of the games from Sunday and as well as Monday, so it was a long day. I mean, a long show over a fucking hour by myself, don't need to toot my own horn or anything, but that was pretty fun. We had a good time. Graphics were a little bit different, stuff like that, but instead, we were unable to do True Identity yesterday. So, instead of True Identity Tuesday, this will only be happening for this week, hopefully, I'd assume, unless there's any more fuckery going around in the NFL where they decide, let's move more games past the Sunday. Let's move it to Monday. Let's move it to Tuesday. Let's, spread this week out a little bit because, they did that, and they weren't supposed to. They went against their word at the beginning of the season where they said, look, if you guys are unable, if you have a breakout of COVID-19 in your facility, you're unable to play the game, unable to have an opponent come to your field, you have to forfeit that game. The NFL said, fuck that, we need our money, goddammit. So they said, Browns, you may have fucking 18-plus players on the COVID-19 list. We understand a lot of them are starters, a lot of them are stars on your team, superstars. We'll give you a chance to maybe have them test out of the protocol, and then you guys can play Monday. Not many tested out, okay? And then they did the same thing with the fucking, the games that were yesterday. Okay, there's a couple outbreaks in a couple of those teams, the Rams and Washington had a couple outbreaks, and they thought, maybe, just maybe, some stars on their team, some starters on their team might be able to test out of this protocol because Omicron, if you're not aware, is... it's COVID without the symptoms or super, super mild symptoms, so you really don't know if you have it. And you feel fine, you feel like you can go play. Basically, all it does is that you're spreading it. And that's something you don't want to do, obviously, and that's something that we want to kind of stay away from is the spreading of the COVID because of all the people that have unfortunately passed away from this, unfortunate event. But it is what it is. T's and P's to all those families out there that have been affected by COVID-19, but at the same time, it kind of reminds me, or it kind of brings me to this. If you gave them the opportunity, you moved their games back, and you gave them the opportunity to possibly have a couple more of their starters back in the lineup, that tells me one thing, or actually two things. A, you want your fucking money, and B, you're setting something up. Something's just not right here. Like I'm trying to figure out a way to word this. It's like the Browns and the Raiders will take. Okay, the Raiders are a team that has been dealing with a bunch of bullshit. Mark Davis is getting audited by the IRS or whatever, and then he got Henry Ruggs in that unfortunate 156-mile-an-hour crash, kills a woman and her dog and stuff like that. He's gone. See you later. Then Damon Arnett, cornerback. gets cut because he wants to go flash guns around on Instagram. All right, see you later. And he gets signed by the Miami Dolphins. Don't know how that happened. And then you deal with the uncertainty of John Gruden. All these emails were coming out. What's going to happen? Is John going to lose his job? Or the Raiders going to continue to buy into what he's trying to build here with the Raiders and in the new city of Las Vegas? Well, I mean, these emails were not great by any means. Not something you would want to do, especially as a person like him, as a public figure like him, a person who the public eye is constantly on and constantly waiting for him to screw up, and this screw up led to his ultimate firing from Mark Davis, let him go from the Las Vegas Raiders organization. So there's a whole bunch of shit that's going on there. Does the NFL just not want them to succeed this year because too much fuckery's going on? So they're like, oh, well, let's give the Browns an opportunity to bring these guys back. Same situation kind of with, the Eagles in Washington. Eagles, I mean, there really wasn't too much fuckery going on, if you will, but they're a team that all of a sudden started struggling early on, struggling really quickly, and then they've come back out of fucking nowhere. They're 7-7 currently after last night's win, which we'll get to in a bit, but, it blows my mind, and it also leads me to think, are they going to move any other games? Because, yes, they want to make money. I get that, and I understand that. But when they said at the beginning of the year, if you have a COVID-19 outbreak and you're unable to host the opposing team in your home field, you have to forfeit without pay. I get it. Players don't want that. You want to get your money and stuff, but, whatever. It is what it is. I don't care. I'd have football on every single day of the week if I had to choose, if that's just me. But it seems like we're getting right back to that of what it was last year, where it was just a game on every single day of the week. And don't get me wrong, like I said, I love that. It gives me something to watch, some content here and there to kind of dive into what kind of went on here and stuff like that. But it sucks because Omicron, I feel like it's a quick spreader. I understand that, but at the same time, I feel like it might not be as bad. Now, I'm not a doctor. Okay, I'm not a doctor, still COVID-19, but I just feel like it's a little bit on the okay side. Not the great side. Like, if you understand, if you don't understand, go fuck yourself. No, I'm just kidding. But it is what it is. They had moved these games, and then we had two of them last night, both at the same time. My dumbass said, oh, they start at 7 p.m. I'll be there. I'll be ready to watch. We got done with the show at about 6:30, 6:40, somewhere around that. Get all set up, ready to rock and roll, and I turn it on, and I'm like, oh, I missed the whole first quarter. Great. Sounds awesome to me. They started at 6, so 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when they started, but that means it's 6 Central Time, so kind of fucked up in that situation. But it is what it is. Let's dive into the world of football. Are you ready to get your fix? So last night we had two games, obviously. The first one being the Seattle Seahawks against the Los Angeles Rams. So not the first one. They both played at the fucking same time. But the Seahawks taking on the Rams. Now, the Seahawks, if they lose, that's the first losing season under Russell Wilson as their starting quarterback. And, folks, that actually happened. The Seattle Seahawks lost 20-10 to the Los Angeles Rams. And not only this game, but the other game, the Washington and Philadelphia game, was pretty boring as well. I mean, nothing was really happening. No explosiveness. Nothing was, crazy. And I think a lot of that has to do with a lot of those starters being out, and especially with Seattle being without Tyler Lockett and Jamal Adams, who has season-ending surgery. I can't remember on exactly what that was. So he's done. Tyler Lockett tested positive for COVID, couldn't test out. He's done. How you doing? And then you got the Rams. The Rams were riddled with COVID-19 outbreaks. Von Miller was, I think, the only one, the only one really to test out a COVID-19 protocol and come in and be able to play. And boy, oh boy, this Rams team really proved and showed why they were the better team. Like, straight up, okay? You look at these stats here, and you kind of recognize, I recognize right away anyways, you don't see DK fucking Metcalf on the graphic. Well, folks, ever since he wanted to go out and call Shannon Sharp a little boy on Twitter, he hasn't done shit, like at all. This guy in 52 something yards, something like that last night was not the greatest outing that he's had. Since that tweet he put out, he has been dog shit. But at the same time, I was like, okay, Tyler Lockett out. I even said it on the show last night. Expect DK Metcalf to have a bigger impact in this game. He's gonna ball out. He's gonna have to ball out in order for the Seattle Seahawks to win. He didn't ball out. They lose. Didn't have a touchdown. Only had 50-some yards. Not the greatest outing by him, but you look there, Russell Wilson struggled. Okay, that thumb must still be bothering him. I don't know how. I don't know why, but I feel like he may have come back way too quickly, and I think, at least in my opinion, he's worried. He was worried about, losing, having a losing season. He's like, I can't let this happen, trying too much, trying to win this, trying to make this team win. But I also believe, with all that speculation this offseason of, Russell Wilson might end up a Chicago Bear, Russell Wilson might end up a San Francisco 49er. That leads me to believe that there's something not right in that Seattle organization. Something just wasn't clicking with Russell. Like something up here just was like, man, this next year it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be real tough. We don't have any fucking pass rushers. DK, he's good. He started balling early on. Tyler Lockett, he's good. But running back wise, Chris Carson, he's not bad, but is he a franchise guy? We're not really unsure. This offensive line, not that good. I'm really going to have to go out there and ball. I'm going to have to do it all by myself and try to win these ball games. It's going to be tough. I really don't want to have to do that. I think that's a real conversation to kind of be had there. It's like there's something that wasn't right, I feel like, in this offseason that Russ Wilson knew that we didn't. They're struggling. They moved to 5-9 on the season after this 20-10 loss to the Los Angeles Rams, where the Rams moved to 10-4. Matthew Stafford completely balled out, but one man, folks, that just sticks in your mind when you watch the Rams. Cooper fucking Kupp dominated this game. Absolutely dominated this game, and he continues to do that week after week after week. He is the NFL leader in receiving yards. He is 304 or 340 yards away from breaking the all-time single-season receiving record held by Calvin Johnson. There's 2 fucking weeks left. He has to average, if it's 340, I can't remember off the top of my head, didn't do the math, I just heard this stat. But it's about 170 yards in each game to break 340, if that's the one. 340 needs 152 yards a game. Very, very doable, especially when you see this stat here, 9 catches, 136 fucking yards, 2 touchdowns. The man was lining up in every single position. I think he even lined up in the backfield last night at one point. Like, this guy can do it all, has the chemistry with Matthew Stafford to be able to go out there and run whatever fucking route he wants because they're on the same page. We have talked about Odell Beckham and Baker Mayfield. Odell would just run his own routes. Baker and him weren't on the same page, so that didn't look good. People are like, he was doing this, he was doing that. No, they didn't have chemistry. Baker, Odell, didn't fucking work. Cooper, Matthew Stafford, does fucking work. Tom Brady, Julian Edelman, does fucking work. Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski, does fucking work. Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, does fucking work. You have to build that chemistry before you can go run out and do all these, different routes. These routes that the quarterback may not know. You just have to be ready to throw the ball on any given notice. Okay, like it just has to happen that way. I'm not putting the blame on Odell over in Cleveland. I think a lot of it has to do with Baker not getting his ass in the room with OBJ and actually hashing things out, building that chemistry and actually like preparing. Oh, you're not going to run that route. Okay, we're not going to play typical high school football where you get the route, you run that route, you stick to that route, and if you don't, you're on the fucking bench. This is the NFL. You make things happen. You cause chaos. You cause the defense to do stupid things. And last night we seen it. Cooper Kupp, absolutely a beast out there on the football field. This man flies around, does whatever he wants because he has the ability to. Him and Matthew Stafford are always Cooper Kupp comes into the building at 6 a.m. every single morning with Matthew Stafford. They sit down, they have breakfast, they talk about the game plan, they talk about what they're going to do, what they're not going to do. They go on the practice field, they perfect it, if you will, something like that. And then they go out and they do that and showcase it, everything they've learned, everything they've built, everything they've done. They bring it out on the field every Sunday, Monday, fucking Tuesday, and Thursdays and stuff like that. And it shows. Cooper Kupp's a big-time receiver in the NFL. He's the best receiver at this point in the NFL. I'm talking about receiving yards because in my eyes, Davante Adams is number one. Okay, don't put that. Don't twist my words. Okay, all right. Davante Adams, number fucking one. But last night, boring game. Not the greatest. I thought DJ Dallas did pretty good for the most part. Him and Rashad Penny had to kind of go back and forth with running the ball and stuff, but DJ Dallas actually showed that he's a good runner. Okay, he reminds me not a whole lot of Dearness Johnson of the Cleveland Browns, because Dearness Johnson, I think he has the capability of being an okay starting running back for some teams, a really, really solid number 2 running back for a lot of teams around the NFL. But DJ Dallas, I think he's shown that he can be a pretty solid number 2. Go out there, know the game plan, hit those holes, do those jukes and stuff like that. He played pretty solid for Seattle last night. But Seattle just couldn't get it done. The Rams stayed out in front, and that's exactly what I figured was going to happen, as well as Logan and John, guest hosts here on Fantasy Football Friday, in which we're not going to be here this Friday because, it's fucking Christmas Eve, so... but we will be here tomorrow to talk about, stuff like that. Or I will be here to talk about that tomorrow. But the other game we had yesterday was the Washington football team taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. I said it yesterday, and I'll say it again. I have a feeling the game is going to be pretty close up to halftime. You're going to see Washington and Philadelphia really slug it up. And then after half, you're going to see Philadelphia start trickling away with that lead and ultimately walk away with a big old fat W. And that is exactly what happened. 27-17, Philadelphia gets the dub over Washington. Thank fucking Lord. I appreciate it. Fly, Eagles, fly. You can't see me flapping my wings, so just flapping over here. But they got it done. Okay, Vikings stay in that 7th seed. Washington fucking scoots back behind, I believe, the Saints and the Eagles now. So, keep it up. We need that, all right? Now the Eagles got to lose. The Niners got to lose, in which they play the Titans tomorrow. So that'll be a fun game to watch. But this is a fun game overall. Another boring game. But Jalen did awesome. Like John said, he did pretty well. He did absolutely phenomenal. 20 of 26, 296, a touchdown, interception. One thing that is not on this, I believe he had 2 fumbles and he lost one of those fumbles. I didn't know how to fit it in there. But Jalen controlled this offense. He made it like, okay, this is my offense. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to do the best I can to hopefully succeed and hopefully win this ball game. He did just that. But you look underneath it. Miles Sanders, 18 carries, 131 yards. I believe this is the first back-to-back 100-yard rusher for the Philadelphia Eagles, all the way back to LaShawn fucking McCoy. Now, if I remember right, I think Chip fucking Kelly got rid of that guy's ass and tore apart the Eagles team. But we're right back to where the Eagles probably should be. The defense needs to clean up a little things here and there, but that offense last night looked phenomenal. Dallas Goedert, 135 yards, no touchdowns. It's unfortunate he didn't reach the end zone, but that's how it is. He still got the dub, so how you doing? Keep it moving. But one thing I'd like to talk about is Washington, obviously being riddled with a bunch of COVID-19 positives or a COVID-19 breakout in their facility. Fucking Taylor Heineke, he's out. Their backup, Kyle Allen, he's out. So they have to fucking go and sign somebody because they don't have a third guy. The third guy was Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's injured, done for the year, basically. So they have to go sign this guy a couple days before this game takes place. Garrett fucking Gilbert, how you doing, fella? My goodness. Now, the stats may not show it right there, 194 yards. But this man, he put a smile on my face. plays. There was a couple times, or not even a couple times, basically the whole game, he was just throwing the ball up. Just taking shots, just taking chances, whatever he get, that's what he was going to try to do. It literally, and I went out and tweeted both of these things, and one of them was, he's literally out there, like, just plain and simple, having fun. Like, it looked like he was having fun out there. Nothing to lose. There's nothing to lose for Garrett Gilbert. He wasn't even on an NFL roster last week. He comes, he's on the NFL roster. He gets the start on Tuesday because Kyle Allen and Taylor Heineke cannot test out of COVID-19 protocols. He gets the start. Looked pretty good. There was some things that he probably didn't like, but for the most part, he went out there, he put a smile on my face, he was having fun while doing it, throwing the ball, taking chances downfield. Ultimately didn't end up working out for him, where they ended up losing 27-17. It just sucks that nothing else really kind of transpired with that offense, because I've been kind of riding that Washington wave, okay, the last couple weeks. Me and John have talked about it on the show before, where you just got to continue to roll with it until they show you otherwise, or until they prove you wrong. And I rolled with them. I lost. Logan was the only one to really, invest in them and stuff like that. They got the dub, so and that's how it is. But the Eagles saved the Vikings from getting kicked out of the goddamn playoff race, so I'm pretty pumped about that. Washington just, COVID. I mean, what are you going to do? Okay, you have Taylor Heineke back there. The game's probably a little bit different. Oh, and by the way, one big takeaway from this game, and I thought I was losing my fucking mind. Well, I guess two things. I'm not going to say one of them. So one of the thing, I'm going to keep that between me and Logan, one of them. So, but the other one was Jalen fucking Hurts. Every time he was behind center, you probably won't be able to see it that well. But I mean, he was like, all right, calling the plays, doing this thing, and then when he's about to snap the ball, the dude just goes all the way down like he's, doing the squat. You're about 90 degrees here on the thighs or something like that. And then he goes out and runs the ball, does his thing, passes the ball. I don't know, but I was like, does he do this every single fucking play? Like, I seen it one time, and I'm like, has he been actually doing this? So I kept an eye on it, kept fucking looking at him. I was like, okay, let me see how he does this. Oh, okay, he does it again. Okay, maybe it's the same kind of play style. Oh, nope. All right, he does it again. And he kept doing it. I was like, dude, at one point, don't those thighs get a little tired? I mean, geez Louise. I don't understand it. But, hey, whatever fits or whatever works, don't fix it, basically. He got the dub. Eagles moved to 7-7 on the season. The Washington football team moves to 6-8. So with that being said, I think it's a good time to switch to True Identity Wednesday. It would be True Identity Tuesday, but we've talked about that previously, where yesterday we couldn't do it. We probably could have found a way to fit it in there. I would have just missed the whole fucking first half because I thought the game started at 7, started at 6. So we had to move it to today. And it's a perfect kind of branch off, because for the first True Identity we have is the Philadelphia Eagles. Currently sitting at 7-7 on the season. They're in the hunt. They're right there. One win could put them in. One loss could put them out. Ladies and gentlemen, the Eagles' true identity is a team that needs the run game to succeed. And I say that because Miles Sanders has had back-to-back games of 131 yards and 120 yards. But I also say that because early on in the season, the first 7 or so games, they weren't running the ball. They weren't using Miles Sanders. They just pass, use Jalen on the run game. That's it. How you doing? Keep it moving. Didn't fucking work. They knew it. They had to change. Okay? They changed. And they're starting to win ball games. They're starting to run the ball a little bit better. They're starting to use, Boston Scott, Miles Sanders, Jordan Howard, Jalen Hurts. I mean, the list kind of goes on. They're using that run game. They're getting W's, and they continue to prove me, and to prove us, why they need the run game to succeed. Because if they don't go out there and they don't have a good run game, more than likely, okay, maybe 7 out of 10 times, they are going to lose that ball game. Unless, like I said, the 3 out of the 10, they find some way to just demolish the other team through the air or something like that. But they are a team that needs the run game to succeed, and they've done that the past couple weeks. And look, now they're 7-7, fighting for a playoff spot. We could definitely see the Philadelphia Eagles find some way to break into the playoffs, but it all relies on their last 3 games. Their last 3 games are against the Giants next week, or this upcoming week, week 16. So that'll be a fun one, but they probably should win that one unless, they end up not running the ball, like I said on True Identity here. And then after that, they got the Washington football team, and they just beat them. The next time around, though, Washington's going to be healthy, have all their players back. Heineke's going to be there, okay? Big-time players are going to be in that lineup. So the game could have a different outcome. Then after that, they got the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys on a roll. They're currently the number 2 seed in the NFC at this point at 10-4. And I don't see them slowing down really at all. But again, they need to fucking run Ezekiel into the ground because the dude, 50 yards his last game or something stupid like that. Like, we got to pick it up, Zeke. Okay, quit eating your Cheerios, whatever you're doing out there, and just work out a little bit, go out there and run. Focus on football, because you're not doing that. Tony Pollard looks miles better than you. I understand he adds that extra X factor and stuff like that, but get his ass going, all right, Jerry? Fucking figure it out. But it also kind of makes me think, did Mike McCarthy have the same issue with running backs when he was in Green Bay? Yeah, Ryan Grant had like 1-2 good years, and all of a sudden he's like, all right, not that great. And then I can't remember off the top of my head who their next one was, but Eddie Lacy. Okay? Kind of reminds me of Zeke. Looked awesome a couple of years. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, geez. This is who we got. Next, please. We need another one. Okay? So that'll be a fun game. That's not going to be for the division. I just don't think so. I think Dallas kind of has it locked up at this point, unless they lose a game and the Eagles win out and the Cowboys lose out or something stupid like that. But I don't think that's going to happen. So it'll be really interesting to see what happens with the Eagles, and hopefully they continue to lose so Minnesota can have a chance at the playoffs. Even though we're going to get in there, go one game, win it, and okay, how you doing? Then the next game we're going to see you later. You're done, and good luck next year. But there's also another team with a true identity that I think I've figured out. You might call me crazy, but I think a lot of Chicago Bears fans might not call me crazy. Might be in agreement with me. Ladies and gentlemen, the Chicago Bears' true identity is a team that needs a new head coach. And I say that because the man considers himself an offensive guru. The man calls offensive plays. At the beginning of the season, they start losing. They can't do anything but sit there and whine. We suck. Are you sure this rookie quarterback is the future? I mean, come on, okay? I mean, we have no receivers. You had to get Allen Robinson. He's bitching because his team kind of sucks. Then you hand over the offensive play calling to someone else. You start winning a couple ball games. And then because COVID-19 affects your whole coordinating room, you got to call plays again. And you end up losing to the Minnesota Vikings. Because you, sir, cannot call offense. And you put your team in, I'd say, some pretty shitty situations. I don't like him as a head coach. But, I mean, he does have the accolades there, okay, to be able to reason with him and be able to kind of keep him there. Because as a head coach in the regular season, he's 31-27. But he's 0-2 in the playoffs. He's had 2 playoff appearances in his 3 years as head coach of the Chicago Bears. One NFC North title. He hasn't been able to do anything with it. And he was the 2018 Coach of the Year. He won that award because that's when they went to the playoffs. That's when they won the NFC North, I believe. Yeah, because this will be 3 years in a row. Green Bay's won it. They won it in 19, 20, and 21. Okay, 2018. Yeah. So you get what I'm trying to say here. He was good right away, like every fucking rookie coach seems to be somehow. I mean, they figure out a way to win some ball games. They're looking pretty solid, like Sean McVay. and Kyle Shanahan and Cliff Kingsbury. These coaches, they start figuring out their ways, and then all of a sudden the other teams kind of pick up what they're trying to do. But Matt Nagy, man, it's time. Your time's up in Chicago. You're a team that needs a new head coach. And I do believe that, because your next 3 games don't look all that hot. You got the Seattle Seahawks. They're going to be pissed off because they have a losing season. They're probably going to try to figure out ways to change that organization, change what's going on there. But Seattle's probably going to win that one, if I had to guess, especially if all their players are back and healthy and whatnot, especially if Tyler Lockett's back, because, he's going to want revenge for being out from COVID. Then after that, they got the New York Giants. They'll probably beat the Giants, but that's going to be a close game, I feel like, unless the Giants just get stomped all over by the Chicago Bears defense, because the Bears defense is a real thing. Like, that is a real good defense. The offense it's hit or miss. Like, they're either going to hit like they did on Green Bay and damn near come away with it, or, they're going to miss, and they're going to miss epically. Okay? They're not going to have a chance to win the ball game. And then after that, they finished the season off with the Minnesota Vikings. We just kind of seen what happened there. Minnesota won. Minnesota's going to win again because it's in U.S. Bank Stadium. Last game of the season. Potential playoff, implications there. Like, what happens if that's the game? The Vikings need to win to boost themselves into the playoffs, have that 7th seed and whatnot. And the Bears, they're done. They're not going to make the playoffs this year. It's just not going to happen. Sorry. You do what you can with that piece of information. But the Bears are 4-10 right now, and I don't see them making up any ground anytime soon. So lastly, for True Identity Tuesday, we have the Indianapolis Colts, and this one's a kicker. This one's awesome. Okay, and I'm not talking about the position kicker. I'm like, this is a good True Identity, and I really didn't realize at the whole beginning of the season. I think we might have done this, but at the same time, it's good to revisit this piece of information if I did kind of already do this. But ladies and gentlemen, the Colts' True Identity is Jonathan fucking Taylor. Okay? Jonathan fucking Taylor. It's been very apparent that he's the guy that when he gets going, they're going to have a really good chance to win, right? Well, actually, if he does get rolling, they're going to win. And I say that, and this is the first time I kind of went over the stats, looked at everything, and was like, holy shit. So, folks, when Jonathan Taylor gets going, and he's only had 6 games, take in mind the Colts are 8-6. He's only had 6 games where he's been held under 100 yards. In each of those 6 games, they lost. Those are the only 6 losses they have every single year, this year. I don't know why I said every single. The rest of those games, the 8 of those games that they won, all 8 of them, he had over 100 rushing yards in every single one. The ones that they lost, every 6 games, he was held under 100 yards. That's why I say Jonathan Taylor is the Colts' true identity. Because if he doesn't get going and he doesn't get over 100 yards, this season will tell you 10 times out of 10, they're going to lose. But if he has over 100, you might as well give the dub over to the Colts. How you doing? Keep it moving type of thing. The Colts are going to win if Jonathan Taylor has over 100 yards rushing, and it has been the case this entire season. 8 games he's at 100-plus yards. And he just continues to impress. He's 3rd in the MVP race, folks. 3rd. This man's an absolute psycho on the football field. It also seems like, before I even seen those stats, I was like, this offense, if they have to pass the ball, they're in trouble. Like, they really can't get anything going. Like, they can get spurts here and there, like Michael Pittman and T.Y. and stuff like that, but they really can't get that offense the way they like it, and they can't put points on the board the way they want to. But when they establish that run game, and we're going to go right back to that conversation, when they establish the run game and get Jonathan Taylor fucking trucking along, how you doing, and he gets 100 yards, when they get that run game going, that opens up the pass game, And, you know, he makes a defense that was focusing solely on the run stop Jonathan Taylor. Do not let him get past you. Just put him on the ground. Pick him up, put him down. Okay, that's what you got to do. When you don't do that, you know, you kind of catch them off guard with a quick play action pass. They thought it was a run because, I mean, why not? And that helps their offense move down the field, helps them put points on the board. But like I said there, in 6 games, only 6 games, he's been held under 100 yards, and they've lost every one of those. But when he gets over 100 yards, in which he has 8 times this season, they've won. Jonathan Taylor is the Colts' true identity. So with that being said, we're going to do exactly what we did last week, where I gave everybody who's watching this show a little sneak peek. Or I guess not a sneak peek because you get the whole fucking thing. But I'm going to give you guys the opportunity, the early opportunity, because it won't be released until tomorrow morning, to look and see my Week 16 power rankings. So let's get started. At 32, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, they lost to the team above them, okay, the Houston Texans. Jags suck, okay. Then you got 31, the Houston Texans. I had to move them down a spot, and I don't know. I don't know why I did that. I just felt like it was the right move for some odd reason. It just felt right, in my opinion. But yeah, that is 32 and 31. So we're looking at 25 through 30. At 30, we have the New York Jets. I moved them up one spot. They lost. Houston won. Probably should have flip-flopped them or should have kept them where they're at. That's my bad, but, I mean, if you're in the bottom 5 of the NFL, okay, I don't think it really matters where the fuck you put. I mean, you're either good, and then you got to really start putting them, okay, where is this team, you know? But when you're bad, it's just like, okay, there you go. Like, that is where you are. The Houston Texans might be a little bit better than the Jets, but again, the Jets might be a little better than the Houston Texans. Who knows if they play again? I don't know. But at 29, we got the Carolina Panthers. I moved them down quite a bit. 2 spots, to be exact, because they suck. They stink. Okay, they need a quarterback in a big way. Not the greatest thing in the world. And then I moved Detroit up because, hey, they beat the Cardinals. They're a hard-fighting team. They're moving their way up the totem pole. Yeah, I mean, 2-11-1, not the greatest record on earth, but they're still doing their thing. At 27, the New York Giants. They lost. I still moved them up one. Oh, no, I don't care. Atlanta Falcons at 26. Chicago Bears at 25. At 24, we have the Seattle Seahawks. I had to move them down because of the loss last night. They're a hard-fighting team, but at the same time, I think they're kind of they're a lost cause at this point. I mean, they have a losing season. They're probably not going to make the playoffs. They're more than likely not going to make the playoffs. But more than likely, every other team in their division are going to make the playoffs. So Seattle sucks, okay? Put them there at 24. 23, the Las Vegas Raiders. Had to move them right there because they beat the Browns. I had to move them up one spot. Then I moved Washington down 3. And it's probably brutal because, yeah, they were affected by COVID-19 and stuff like that, but I had to move them down because of that loss. And right under the team that beat them at 21, the Philadelphia Eagles. At 20, the Denver Broncos. At 19, the New Orleans Saints, in which I moved up 3 spots for that 9-0 victory over this guy who's never been shut out in his fucking career until this Sunday. So that was awesome. That was just fucking fantastic. But moving on, at number 18, the Minnesota Vikings. Got to keep them there. I couldn't move them up because of that win. Because, I mean, the refs gave us that. I couldn't move them down because they didn't lose. Okay, so I kept them right there at 18. Then we got the Cleveland Browns, moved them down 2 spots for that ugly, ugly loss that they suffered against the Las Vegas Raiders. It wasn't really that ugly, but, I mean, they lost. Okay. Then Miami, I moved them up 4 spots. Okay, they're on a 6-game win streak. They're 7-7 right now. They're moving. They're picking up traction. This is a pretty decent team for the most part. So I had to move them up. Then the Pittsburgh Steelers at 15 moved them up 1 slot for their victory. And then the Cincinnati Bengals at 14. San Francisco 49ers at 13. I couldn't move San Fran up above this because, I mean, I probably could have, but at the same time, it's just like they're good, but they can be bad as well. They're a really super hit-or-miss team. They are 8-6 at this point. So they are winning ball games, but they have a tough opponent in the Tennessee Titans this upcoming week. So let's take a look at 7 through 12. I got the Los Angeles Chargers at 12. They're not really, that great of a team. They're a good team. They can win some, but they can lose some. In the same way with Niners type of thing. Then I got Tennessee Titans at 11. I had to move them down one spot out of the top 10 because they lost. All right, it is how it is. They lost to Pittsburgh on an unfortunate ending. Where we talked about the first down line, the ball being like right there, stuff like that. So yeah, I had to move them down. I had the Baltimore Ravens at 10, moved them down 2. I have the Buffalo Bills. I had to move them up 2 slots for their massive ass whooping of the Carolina Panthers. So I had to move them up to number 9. They're back in the top 10. At number 8, I have to move the Colts up 1 slot because this team probably should have moved them up above the New England Patriots. But there's some feeling inside of me that says, look, if they play again, if they meet in the playoffs, New England's going to win. Okay. And it also goes back to True Identity Tuesday or True Identity Wednesday on today's show, where I talked about Jonathan Taylor. If he doesn't get over 100, they're not going to win. If he does get over 100, they're going to win. And that's exactly what happened against New England, who I have above them at 7, moved them down 3 spots. So I feel like I did my due diligence on that. Saying that fast fucking sucks. Okay, but I had to move New England down 3 slots. Okay, so that's my 7 through 12. So for the top 6 teams, we have them right here. At 6, I have the Arizona Cardinals. Move them down 4 spots for losing to the Lions. Okay, the Detroit Lions. They took a fat L. Okay, didn't have DeAndre Hopkins, but they're still in the top 10. So they're going to make the playoffs and all that nonsense. So move them down 4 spots, number 6. At number 5, I had to move the Rams up 2 for beating the Seattle Seahawks and getting 1 inch closer to potentially winning their division over the Arizona Cardinals. And potentially, I don't even know. But yeah, they have a real shot at winning their division. They're both 10-4, the Cardinals and the Rams are. So I have to move them up 2 slots. At number 4, I had moved up to Tampa Bay Buccaneers down 1. They got shut out, okay, to the Saints. I still don't think they're that bad of a football team. Once they're healthy, they have all their stars back. They're a hard team to beat, and I think playoff Tom is a real thing. And you can't count him out, and so I'm not counting him out here. I only have to move him down 1 slot. At number 3, I moved the Kansas City Chiefs up 2 slots, just because they've been winning lately. Their offense doesn't really hype me up or get me excited all that much, but their defense is what has been winning them games lately, at least in my opinion, in my eyes. So I have to move them up 2 slots. Out 4 slots, I have the Dallas Cowboys. They're number 2. They're the number 2 seed in the NFC currently. Looks like they're going to win their division, respectfully, okay? And now the next step is basically going into the playoffs and fucking winning the playoffs, like going to the Super Bowl. That's what the Dallas Cowboys need to accomplish. I think 25 plus years of no Super Bowl appearance. I mean, what are you going to do? The Minnesota Vikings haven't been there in a fucking century, it feels like, but obviously that's not the case. So, but yeah, it's been a while, okay? And then for the past 3-4 weeks, at number 1, the Green Bay Packers. I still think they're the team to beat in the NFL. With Aaron Rodgers on that football team, good fucking luck, okay? Basically is how I put that stat over there. And I think, honestly, they have the best record in the NFL. They were the first team to clinch their division and clinch a playoff spot. And Aaron fucking Rodgers is going to break the Brett Favre's passing touchdown record, I believe, as a Green Bay Packer. So, I mean, good luck winning if Aaron Rodgers is their quarterback. I get to go witness that with John and Logan in 2 weeks. 1 week from Sunday, so we're about a week and 4 days away from that, a week and 3 days. I can't wait. Pumped up. That's going to be fun. Lambeau. I'm going to go, Pack, go. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to start screaming that because, we got to fucking score over here. But, yeah, Green Bay at number 1. So there you have it, folks. That's my Week 16 power ranking. If you got to watch the show today, you got to see them first. Nobody else will get to see my power rankings until tomorrow before noon. So, hey, better feel special because I'm not releasing these, like I said, till tomorrow. But that is all we have for you guys today, or all I have for you today. where we talked about last night's matchups. We dived into true identities, and then we talked about my Week 16 power rankings. So go enjoy the rest of your day. I know I will. I got to watch Man in the Arena. I forgot to watch that last night. Hopefully that was on because, there was games on, so I have to watch that tonight. So that'll be awesome as well. But go enjoy the rest of your evening as well. We'll talk to you tomorrow here at 6 p.m. Central Time, like always. And you just got your fix with a Wicks. Thank you guys, and have a great one.